What a good anime.
Yeah? You like it?
Yeah, it was a good show.
I think it's kind of shit.
No, you don't. You do not.
Oh, shit, you caught me. You caught me in my web of lies. Hey, it's me, Cube.
It's me, Fiend. Anime Slushy. It's the final DD&D app. God damn. Just, like, you already commented on this, but just, like, look at that. And an anime show that has, like, a nice finale that has, like, a bit of extra action and it wraps up a story nicely. And, you know, it stops.
It's been so long, Fiend. It's been so long since I watched a normal season of an anime that doesn't just completely fall off of its shit at the end. They finished animating the whole thing, and it's so novel.
Like, especially a magical girl show, because, like, the closest things we've watched recently have been Magia Record and fucking Wonder Egg.
For Yuki Yuna season 3 that I still need to get back to at some point, but it's very...
Yeah. There's people in the chat saying they thought the last episode was a bit flat. I could understand thinking that in terms of, you compare it to the end of season 1.
Yeah.
This is more like the more definitive ending was the ending of volume 3 halfway through this season, whereas this ending's like the ending of a relatively short arc.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like an ending. Like, it's still a nice wrap up to a little sort of plot thread they were fiddling with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that was going to be, like, my main, like, light complaint is just that, you know, it's just, like, more continuing adventures, and it's not really so much of a, you know, like, satisfying end of a season, so much as a, all right, when's season 3?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just started some more stuff, okay, and next, please, come on, give me, yum, 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 yum.
And at this point, I'd be surprised if there wasn't a season 3, considering it seems to be doing very well now, and the dubs come out in a hurry.
Yeah, it does seem to have picked up, like, especially compared to season 1 when, like, nobody was talking about it, and now it seems like you see gifs of it every once in a while and stuff. It seems like people found it.
Yeah. Which makes me happy.
Come on. Yeah. Appreciate our girls.
When season 3 does come around, that's going to cover volumes 5 and 6, which, ooh boy.
Oh shit, is that dark Momo Darks?
Yeah, we're going to get into what happened.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway. So the start of episode 11, it doesn't fuck around. It's like 2 shots of the girls walking to school with Mikan now and Shamiko going, "Oh, we're going to school," and then opening credits.
Summer vacation over.
Yeah.
and yeah, so now it's that Mikan time that you'd been telling me was coming.
Yeah. And what's her concern with going to school?
Well, she's worried about, you know, the whole fact that she has a crazy bad luck curse. You know, understandable. And so she's like, "Oh, I have to introduce myself," and she just explains everything to everyone. It's all very straightforward. It's like, "Hey, hello, I'm a magical girl. I have a bad luck curse." Blah blah blah. And the teacher's like, so she, you know, the teacher explains it almost like a medical condition, which I think is cute.
I also liked when they were explaining how it works. They cut to Ogra in the classroom, and she's just looking like really evil happy. About this curse.
Yeah. She's not been informed about this, and this is very exciting. Which is also, like, she can't be spying on them that much then. Like, I don't think, like, that's a joke, but I don't, because she should have heard about her bad luck curse by now. She's constantly spying on him.
Maybe she's just been really focused on Shamiko.
Possible.
I do like as well the class, like, in line with this whole town being a pretty weird place full of odd people, that, like, the questions she gets aren't really about the curse or her being a magical girl at all. They're just, like, odd questions about, like, which part of your body do you wash first in the bath?
You have to remember the weirdest one.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the weirdest one. What were the other ones? It was like, you eat fried food in the morning.
It's funny because she was like, "Oh no, people are going to ask me about my curse." Then she's like, "Why is anyone asking me about my fucking curse?"
The other thing I really liked that gets passed over really quickly was, like, when she's saying people can ask more difficult questions, you see the little leaf on her hair bun just, like, spin around?
Well, yeah, because someone asked about it.
Well, no, it happens before that, and then someone asks her about the hair, and then it starts moving around. She's saying, "Oh, I grew out of my ether body, so I can just, like, move it around if I want." And it's like...
It's very powerful.
It's another one of those times where, like... they don't really ever get in... Well, they do get into it here and there, but just the fact that all the magical girls are, like, weird energy beings... Like, they're not really human anymore. And they're just like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, it, like, comes up when it's interesting, but other times, obviously, they just act as if they're normal people physically.
Yeah. But also just that they'll occasionally use it for a weird gag like this. Like, "Oh, I just had a weird hair bun shaped like an orange that grew out of my head. And I can move it around."
It's good. It's a good hair bun. I like your little Mikan bun. It's cute.
Yeah. The whole thrust of this first episode 11, is that it's all going really well. the thing about Mikan is that she's quite charming, and she's very nice, and people sort of take to her immediately.
Yeah, it was interesting to see their classmates as like distinctively drawn people at all.
Yeah, they don't usually get much of that.
Oh, and I like that, like, they're inviting her to the clubs, and Henri wants to invite her to tennis, and she's like, this probably wouldn't be fair, like, I got a magical body and shit,
Yeah.
it'd be kind of OP, and then she's like, but what if we got Momo and her to do a tennis fight? Oh my god, and Shamiko's like, yes, I want to see that shit. And they just want a Prince of Tennis with magical girls.
Yeah,
That's all
I
they
know.
want. And Mo says, no.
There was that show this season from the Nanaha guy about girls with magic powers playing soccer.
Oh, yeah, the soccer one. I didn't hear much about that. I feel like any interest people would have had in that was kind of taken over by Birdie Wing, which was an even more insane sports anime.
Yeah, but see, like Birdie Wing, no one acknowledges that everyone has magic powers.
It's true. It's just like that.
Yeah. I liked as well, there's like something you brought up earlier. The last few episodes before these ones, there have been points when you can see them sort of cutting corners and going cheap, and not in like a really dodgy or ugly kind of way. Like when they've sort of gone cheap, it's usually stylistically appropriate for the show.
That's the normal expected anime of like reusing footage sometimes,
Yeah.
maybe doing lesser moving pictures every once in a while.
Yeah,
It's not like the newer version where everything just looks like a fucking mess.
Yeah. But these two episodes, they do seem to have saved their budget because there's little bits of Sakuga. Like the tennis gag in the manga is just one panel like drawing of Momo in the background playing tennis, whereas this one we actually do get like a bit of her having a swing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice. Like anyway.
Sometimes they just work in things that seem like they'd be fun to draw.
Yeah. So yeah, Sports Day's coming up.
Ba-ba.
Gotta do the traditional anime stuff. When they were saying like it's a shame that the magical girls can't compete in the sports day because obviously they're far too powerful for this. Ogura keeps coming up in with suggestions, and this episode, at least this scene, features a lot of Ogura and Lilith hanging out, which I really enjoyed.
I like it, but that part where they cut to Ogura talking about her running time was a bit like, who on this show fucking loves Ogura so much? There's no reason to give her this much framing for this scene. Who's the big Ogura fan?
Well, every other thing she does in this scene is in the manga. That wasn't. That was an anime edition.
It makes sense. One of them's a fucking Ogura stan.
But yeah, Ogura's saying, I could make a potion that could drain all their power so they'd only have the power of a normal person. And then Lilith's just in the bottom of frame smiling, going, I'm interested.
Yeah. Really... And then I like they're like, yellow card.
Yeah. You have to go away.
But she does have a potion for dark magic stabilization. And they call it a potion, but it's like a giant jar of liquid and then like a big black ball in the middle of it.
Yeah, they're always so gross.
And they just keep talking about a potion, but she's like, make sure to crunch it when you take it. Ugh.
The other anime tropey thing we've got to do is Mikan has to join a committee.
Bye-bye.
Because the school, like all schools, the school has different committees that, and you got to get involved in one, be a good school citizen. The thing is, though, the school allows anyone to set up their own committees. So,
well, they say that. Don't let Mikan make the one she wants to make.
Yeah, she asked if she can set up a Mikan committee, but unfortunately, those trees take too long to flower. So,
how dare.
She'll be out of school before it's done. But she does remember Henri mentioning that she's on the sports day committee, so she goes and volunteers to help out there. Because, it'd be a good way to get involved in the sports day, seeing as though she can't actually compete. Another thing I really liked in this episode, a lot of Henri being really helpful and looking out for Mikan is cute.
Yeah, it's kind of like, she gets a chance to, like, kind of shine again in a way that's not just like, can we work meat in somehow?
Well, there's a bit of that.
And she is like, she's just a very powerful straight man friend.
Yeah.
And I like her.
Yeah. There's lots of, like, this whole episode, there's a reason for this, for both Mikan and Yuko in terms of the arc they're on. But there's a lot of just good... Everyone's here, all hanging out, having fun stuff in this episode.
Yeah,
just like lots little bits of banter, and there's the bit where Henri tells the story of Yuko's first day before she was a demon.
Oh yeah,
and she was just like very ill and weak. Henri spotted Yuko just like sitting on the ground, kind of half passed out because she felt sick, and she was trying to get to the entrance ceremony. Yeah, she was trying to get to the entrance ceremony, and Henri like finds a little a little trolley. to try and wheel her in, and then just like the last shot is just her and a teacher going, you should call a teacher when these sort of things happen. And Henri's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that old Shamiko, because obviously we never really saw that like super weak Shamiko.
Yeah, we get little hints of it occasionally. Like I think in the first season there was that bit where we cut back to her because I can't remember someone telling Momo about the past or something, but yeah, you see those shots of her just sort of hanging out under a tree at school because she can't really join in anything because she's too, doesn't have any stamina and stuff.
Yeah. Yuko. Oh, and two other things about when they're talking about the committees. I like that. So Shamiko's on the health committee, which makes sense. It's like, oh, she had bad health, but she's on the health committee. It's important, healthy.
Yeah, well, it seems to be like a nursing committee because people come to them when they're injured.
Yeah, I assume they like help out at the nurse's office and stuff.
Yeah, it's cute. I like that. Yeah, that's the thing she chose to do.
Yeah.
She asked Mikan if she wants to join because you'll know someone on the committee, and Mikan's like, I don't think my curse would be good to have around people who might be injured.
Yeah. And I like when Mikan is pitching, starting a Mikan club to the teacher, she says it's Oishi desu, like vitamin C. And she like spreads her arms and it says it between her arms. and the subset I was watching made the pun like it's in season. And I was like, it's cute.
I like that little bit as well where when they told her that she couldn't do a Mikan committee, there was that weird little cutaway. It's just her head on a Mikan saying, I want to be a Mikan that fits in at school. There's just lots of silly abstract cutaways in this episode.
Doofy.
Anyway, they're having the banter. They're leaving school. Yuko,
I smile.
There's a little bit where Yuko sort of like reflecting on the fact that things are a lot more lively for her now, and like so she feels like she's sort of advancing a little bit, which I liked as a sort of acknowledgement. It's cute. But then what do we get?
Well, we've been seeing what all these different committees everyone's on, but where's Momo? What committee is Momo on? And they cut to Momo, and she's on the Be Surrounded by Cats committee, and she's just playing with a bunch of cats outside, and they're very cute, and there's a shot of the one rubbing up against her leg. It's fucking cute.
There's like 10 cats, and she's got like a cat toy, and she's just hanging out with cats.
Fuck yeah.
But everyone bullies her. Everyone's like, this isn't a real committee, and she can't really explain like how this does anyone any good other than she gets to hang out with cats.
No, she offers a perfectly valid explanation. She says that it's like for the sake of, like the health of the city, you want to make sure all the stray cats are doing well and stuff. It's fucking valid as shit. I don't even know what they're talking about.
Well, technically what she says is that if you can use how healthy the cats in the city are as a measure for how healthy the town is in general.
Yes.
That seems like more of a stretch.
No, that's all. What are you talking about? That's all that matters. Spay and neuter the stray cats. You take care of them. Everyone should foster. I don't know what you're talking about, mean. It's good. It's very good.
I was going to say, what's that term? If it was the catch neuter release club, that
OTNR program.
Yeah, OTNR club.
No, yeah, that was my thing. I was like, okay, so you're playing with those cats. Are you making sure that they're all healthy? Are you making sure that they're all spayed and neutered? Come on, girl, let's go on this. If you're going to be dedicated to these cats, you got to be dedicated to these cats.
They bully Momo and say you have to join the sports day committee because this isn't a real committee, and which is mean.
Yeah. And she becomes angry.
It's great because then the very next thing they see is like Anari thanking Mikan for joining the committee because she's a big help. And we see Momo hit there too, who's just super grumpy and saying, what am I doing here? I don't understand why I'm here. I want to bury my face in a cat's belly. I was like, oh man.
Hell yeah. Valid.
Something I wanted to ask you about here. Yuko's having a conversation with herself in the foreground. In the background, the girls are playing some sort of word game. Mikan says, when I say September, you say... And then Anoni says rain, and Mama says hot, and then Mikan says no, sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was all about.
I thought you might know.
Oh, I thought it was just like them talking about like, hey, what are you jazzed about for this season or whatever.
Okay. I was wondering if it was like a word game.
I didn't get that impression. No.
Okay. Yuko's looking at all her friends on this committee, and she was going to go home. She's like, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to help with the committee.
Yeah, it's like, oh, neither Momo or her will be there. I want to help too. I want to be lonely.
They get her to help by testing out the different events they're going to be doing. One of which is a bread eating contest, which is you have to jump to reach the bread that's on a pole.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Oh, it is a thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a jokey thing on like sports festival days. So yeah, they just like hang a piece of bread and you're like jumping, trying to grab the bread with your mouth. and it's a melon paw. I'm like, give me.
Yeah. Yuko correctly points out that it'd be dumb for her to be the one they set this for because she's very small.
Yeah. So Mikan takes over that particular duty.
Yeah. I like as well that, as much as Momo was grumpy that she didn't get to just hang out with cats, she really starts getting into helping out and continually insisting that she's not actually enjoying herself, but obviously she is.
Yeah, so first she's sewing the red and white sashes for the different teams, and she's just like going really hog wild on it. It's like, I got really good at doing crafts for making all these Liliths. No, I'm not into it. I don't like it, baka.
There's some first years there who are also on the sports committee who are helping out. And there's just this general thing of just everyone just really takes to Mikan really quickly. And Yuko's kind of reflecting on the fact that it makes sense. She's She's really kind. She's charming. Of course, everyone likes her. Like, she didn't have anything to be worried about.
She's very happy, but she's a little like, I don't know. And then Henri's like, everyone likes Mikan, but even though she's not as pretty, you're still Team Momo, right? Like, you're still the Momo fan. And she's like, no, but she's pretty.
Yeah, that was the.
She's very pretty.
Yeah, that was the, yeah, I'm not a fan, but she's very pretty. Although in the anime, yeah, that's what they say in the manga. In the anime, they said like that she thinks Momo still has her charms. There is like a tiny suggestion that she's a bit annoyed that people don't appreciate Momo more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's not like it's actually anyone else is thinking about it as a competition between Momo and Mikan,
No.
but for some reason Shamiko just seems to be like, no one's appreciating Momo's presence here. It's very underappreciated, my Momo.
Yeah, she just wants everyone to know Momo is also good.
Yeah.
Now, there's a cute little bit here where Yuko goes up and sort of checks in with Mikan. And part of the whole thing, what they said at the start of the episode was that Mikan actually moved here because to help protect Yuko, which was true. That's why she turned up in season 1.
Yeah, Momo called her in.
Yeah, because Momo was a bit under the weather. Mikan's doing this for Yuko, so she's kind of worried about, am I making life harder for her? And Mikan's like, look, the people in this town are weird and too easygoing, IMO, but they're very nice.
Yeah.
And also, I'm enjoying living alone for the moment. So, and she just sort of almost hits her and says, stop worrying.
Yeah.
I didn't just do this for you. This is working out for me too.
Yeah, it's sweet. Everything's going to be okay. Or is it?
Yeah, because they're working on the big banner for the opening, the front of the school for the sports day. Meanwhile, Mikan's helping the girls test this, like a ladder game or something, where you hold the person up.
Yeah, it's like a game where like some of the kids hold another kid like between their arms, and then they like fight another team. I think you're like trying to like pull something off them, like a sash or something. I forget exactly how it works.
Oh, okay.
Oh, someone says it's called a chariot game, but it seems like the kind of thing you wouldn't be allowed to do in America because someone's gonna get their arm broken. You're gonna get sued. It's dangerous, as Mikan proves.
Yeah, because one of the girls bumps into the girl who's struggling to hold Mikan up because she's a bit shorter, and Mikan falls backwards and lands on her head and is temporarily unconscious. And what Momo yells out for everyone to stay back, because the thing with Mikan's curse is when she's unconscious, it just goes off.
But what about when she's seeping? I guess that's different than being knocked unconscious.
Yeah. Fully unconscious is a bit different. The curse does just sort of explode into like dark magical energy. So Momo gets a moment of, I'm a cool magical girl, I'm going to protect you. Just real quick.
Transformation. They don't do the little video game sound effect at the end of it, Phoenix. I'm so fucking offended. They don't do the...
The henches change a little bit this episode in places. It's funny.
Oh yeah, the second one definitely does. This one I think was all the same animation. They just didn't do the...
You're mad at missing one sound effect.
Yes, it was a good sound effect.
Aww.
It's funny. It's funny.
The magical power knocked over some paint cans and they kind of messed up the sign.
Yeah, and everyone's understanding, but Mikan's like, this is my curse.
Yeah,
this is what happens when people get close to me.
Yeah, Mikan takes it really hard. It's nice that everyone is like really like just worried about her. They don't mind. When they're leaving the school, obviously Yuko and Momo can see that Mikan's really upset. And she's doing the whole, if people get close to me, there's a risk they get hurt. And it's kind of okay being around you two because, you're both magical people, so you can deal. But she points out correctly that if Momo hadn't been there, those two girls could have got quite badly hurt.
Yeah.
So she's just sort of...
Yeah.
Another one of these manga differences is like, before Mikan walks away, Momo is saying, hey, look, we should talk about this when you're a bit calmer. And in the anime, Mikan just says, yeah, I should get some rest, and just sort of goes home. In the manga, Momo says, Mikan, we can talk about this if you calm down. And there's sort of a wavery sort of text bubble as Mikan says, yeah, that's right, if I calm down, right?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, which is like, oh, fuck.
I know that feel, girl.
Yeah, oh god, I've got to get into the feels in terms of Mikan's deal in this episode later. But
and also Yuko feels bad because she's like, oh man, if I could do like more cool magical things with my staff, maybe I could make a staff of fix the painting, and boo, if only I could fix everything. I should be better at this.
Yeah. Well, but this is the thing. So she's thinking about the fact that she's not that powerful in the real world. And then while she's at home, she's just sort of thinking, all right, I'm stupid and I'm not very good at stuff. Like she has to start off by insulting herself. Yeah, I'm dumb. I'm bad at things, but there's something I can do. Because one of the things that Mikan mentions is that at one point she used to be able to speak to the demon that's inside her. But that sort of went away a long time ago.
Yeah, wait. So this situation is a slight retcon, right? Because what didn't they say that like her dad tried to make a good luck family demon, and it ended up being something else?
I mean, if you're talking about season 1, they never really went into much about the curse beyond.
No, I mean earlier this season when she's explaining it to Yuko, I could have sworn she mentioned it as a luck thing.
They always suggested it was something about, like bringing good luck. I think technically the way the demon was supposed to work was that, it brings good luck by protecting people and stuff and doing good things to them, but it all sort of went backwards. It might be a slight retcon, but I think it's close enough to like what they were trying to do that this sort of does make some sense.
Yeah, I can roll with it. I was just like, I feel like that they explained it in a way that doesn't really imply this, but well.
I'd have to go back and look for exactly what they said, but it does sort of, I mean, it might be a very slight retcon.
Yeah.
So Yoniko's saying, okay, well, there's the fact that if this demon was capable of speech at some point, there's something I can do. What can I do? I have subconscious powers.
Oh.
This is great because she's running out to get Momo, and Momo's already at the door because she had the same thought that she wants to do something for Mikan, and they're just sort of both going, we had the same thought at the same time. We're really on the same wavelength, huh?
Guess we got a kiss. And Momo has that big jar of the gross potion shit.
Yeah.
She's ready to go.
They burst into Mikan's place, and it isn't acknowledged by anyone, but the sad thing is like she's packing her shit. She's getting ready to leave.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, she's got everything boxed up.
Damn it, Mikan.
Yeah, and then it's like, no, you're not going anywhere. This is bullshit. We're entering your subconscious to talk to the demon. It's not acceptable for you to shoulder this alone. Because she's saying like, oh, look, that's risky. I've been looking after this okay on my own, and Yuko's like, no, absolutely not. This is bullshit. She uses the excuse of, well, you're my minion, and I have to look after my minions. And there's that funny corporate poster of all of them in suits.
Oh yeah, these are I want this to be a benefit of being a minion of mine. I'll enter your dreams.
Yeah.
Well, it was like, I'll do chores for you.
Yeah. It's like free meals. I'll clean your room.
Yeah, you good girl. Oh, also, like, I like that they don't even bother with how Momo goes dark mode. I guess she just can at any moment.
I think there was the idea that she can slip, but there's the potion she's got will stop her from like burning up.
Yeah.
Really quickly. Like it's not driven by dark emotions.
Yeah, it's just funny that like it's so easy for her to go dark mode now. You don't even need to show it or whatever. Just like bam. Anyway, I'm demon mode.
It's almost as if she's grown closer to the Shadow Mistress to whom she just wanted.
Yeah, like they're almost like family or something.
Yeah.
Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Mikan's explaining stuff to Lilith and Yuko about how the curse worked and what the demon was like and blah, blah, blah. And in the background, Momo was like drinking the potion, and then like you just see her trying not to puke.
Oh god, yeah, just like crunch on it. She says it tastes like garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, and they have like Lilith there going like yeah.
This was in both versions. You can see that in the subs in this version too. That she's going, at least in the translation, we want a pitcher, not a belly itcher, as she's trying not to puke.
I've never heard that phrase.
Oh, it's a baseball thing. We want a pitcher, not a belly itcher. We want a catcher, not a belly scratcher. It's like a thing. It's a thing you yell at the players.
I see.
Hey, Americana that I knew that you didn't.
Hey, sports.
Yuko shouts it's futon time, and they all go to sleep.
Yeah. Mikan's like, does it have to be futon time? He's like, futon time. We're all laying this to each other.
We get the Momo henshin. But she has a sword now.
Hell yeah. Yeah. They skipped the part of her henshin that I thought looked weird, and I was like, oh cool, they're skipping it. But she has a sword. Suddenly sword.
Yeah, it's quite a good nice sword too. Clearly her glimmer has restored to some level now that she has this sword.
Which thing is this referencing?
Review Starlight.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the glimmer. She has a darkness katana, which is funny because it's like, why does Momo know how to use a katana? She just has a katana now, and she can do it. Why not? Katanas are cool. Yeah. Shamiko thinks they're cool. Yeah. Time to have a katana.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it. It's just funny. Oh, also they mentioned that the demon is probably based on an Ugaru.
Yeah.
An Ugalu, which is like the Babylonian like house protector demon thing.
Yeah, it's a Mesopotamian demon that, according to Lilith, you would carve an imprint of it in the front of your house and it would protect you from evil spirits. They also say that like this isn't, if it was actually Ugalu, it would be way more powerful. This is probably just a familiar who was styled like them.
Yeah. So and they show like a shadowy form of some kind of anime girl, and it's like, oh, we're getting a new anime girl character. Pew 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 pew.
And yes, and Fortis in the chat, yes, like Fako.
I definitely, I was like, weren't there some enemies? Of course, in Babylon. Yeah.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like those ones.
No, not even remotely. But nothing in Fako looks like it's supposed to look, so, there's that.
No, yeah. I mean, I didn't know what Ugali were. It was just the name of one of those weird enemies that showed up.
One little thing I liked here as well is that Yuko's in charge. She's the boss. So they're trying to figure out what direction to go in because right now everything's just a big mess of dark stuff. So she calls on her staff to become the orientation staff, which is just a stick that falls over and points in a direction. And Momo's like, is this really a good way to make a decision? And Yuko's like, it's a less stressful way to make a decision. It's like, yeah, that's true. just pick a random direction.
Or like when they first wake up, Lilith is like, okay, so, I can't really guide you in the same way, so look for problematic areas or something. And Shamiko like just is staring at Momo's tummy and she's like, is it cold? Is it cold? Tummy.
Touching, rubbing it so it's not cold. Yeah, they're wandering around. Yuko calls the snack staff because it seems like a good time for snacks. And Momo is like, I can't eat this right now, and just sort of puts some in a bag.
Yeah, this is not the time, but maybe later to save these.
And then they spot Mikan. There's like a sleeping Mikan in a fetal position, surrounded by dark goo. And there's a Yuko immediately goes to run to it, and Momo's like, no. What is your first reaction to seeing that? And it's just you just hear
Mikan kawaii.
Yeah, Mikan kawaii. It's just wrong. You're dead.
Yeah, I just got Yuko. He's like, you girls.
Yeah. Momo's saying, okay, well, we need to try to communicate it with it. Yuko has a very, very sped up henshin, which, thank you.
I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, gratuitous English.
Fuck yeah. I love it that she just is like, well, it's from like Mesopotamia or whatever. That's a foreign country. You know what? Foreigners speak English. Excellence.
Yeah.
So she's like, excuse me, I want to be your friend. We are the world. I have okashiori. I don't even understand what we are the world was supposed to.
That's in the manga too. I don't know why that's there.
Awesome. And then just like completely giving up. I have okashiori.
It doesn't work. The demon magic-y thing attacks, so Momo pulls out the sword. Now they're trying to talk to it, and Lilith says, look, I don't think this thing is capable of hearing or seeing anything because it's lost its form. At some point it was probably a physical familiar, but that form is broken down a long time ago, so this thing just doesn't have it's just like a raw response magic at this point. It doesn't have any sort of form that you can talk to.
We have to make this congeal into a goddamn anime girl.
Momo's like, well, look, I could just kill it, and they're like, no, this thing is like deeply parasitic in Mikan at this point, so if you injure it, you're going to injure Mikan as well.
Yeah, because it's feeding on her magic.
Yeah, and they're talking about pulling back, but then Yuko remembers something that Rio mentioned a couple episodes ago, which is that chaos spear that formed Japan.
Fucking Schrodinger's weird spear lore. Or wait, not Schrodinger's, Chekhov's.
This is another one of those moments of Yuko is extremely powerful, but also a dope. I like this dynamic a lot.
Yeah.
Because she yells out the name of the actual spear. And her staff starts transforming, and Momo's like, "What the fuck? She can make that spear? The one from from myth was part of the origin story of Japan, and then it's a big whisk."
Yeah, because it stirs chaos. What do you think it's gonna look like? It's a whisk.
Yeah, you use a whisk to whisk things, and it's like Momo's VA. This is as loud as I've ever heard her yell.
Yeah, she's like, "It's a whisk. It's a whisk, right?
This is just a whisk."
Also, there's part where she's fighting the shadow, and there's a pretty nice little action animation of her fighting the shadow with her sword.
Oh yeah,
nice.
yeah. Momo gets a tiny bit of cool Sakuga in this episode. Once Yuko's just whisking the chaos, it's just gotta whisk, and Momo's in the background going, whatever, I don't care anymore. Just,
you know what? You do you, girl.
Yeah. But it works.
Yeah. Successfully whisked up a little anime girl.
He's like a little demon with big sort of paws with claws, big tail.
So mad that she's not going to have the paws later, fiend. She got big paws. Where's her big paws later, fiend?
I was going to say, Ugalu, I liked her in the manga. She's, again, in general, you know how I kind of like Liko a bit better in the anime than in the manga?
Yeah.
For me, same with Ugalu. I like her. She's cute.
She's pretty cute. At first, when I saw her, she reminds me a little too much of, for people who watched the first FMA anime, fucking Wrath in it, the little kid. She made me think about that kid, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, she's just a little gumpy baby who kind of talks in like goofy demon baby talk, and she's alright.
Yeah. I like the little twist they have here too, because Momo's thing so far has just been like, and been reinforced a few times this episode, is the first thing she wants to do is like punch things. Like that's her first response to most situations is violence.
Yeah.
But just as they're able to talk to Ugalu, Yuko has run out of magic and she kind of half passes out. So Momo's got to negotiate. Momo's got to be the one who's got to talk. And there's this thing of just like this is not Momo's strength.
Because she's like, oh, what would Yuko do? What would Yuko do?
Yeah. She's thinking like, that's what she thinks of. She thinks to like, it's just, oh God, the way that they do these nice reversals in this in terms of the power dynamic, because again, when we started this show, Momo was the extremely powerful one, Yuko was completely hopeless, and now we're at a point, it is well acknowledged that this is the thing that Yuko is much better at, and Momo has to try and emulate her.
Yeah.
It's good shit. It's good.
I like that kind of shit.
Yeah. They're becoming equals.
She's like, you want some candy?
Yeah. and Ugalu takes some candy. There's a little interruption here because Anari turns up at the house because she was texting Mikan to see if she was okay. Just real quick, the text message she sent Mikan, I don't know if you read it. It was so sweet.
I don't think I did.
So it just it says, "Hey Mikasa, are you feeling better?" And then a follow-up text message, "Hang in there. You're capable of anything."
Aww.
That's nice.
She's just such a bro. She's a professional bro.
But then there's also like she's like saying hello, and then there's like a sticker that's some sort of like, "You've left me on red." Oh no, that sort of thing.
And then when she comes in, there's just three girls lying like they've been lined up like sardines in a futon, and she's like, "Oh, a murder scene."
Lilith, because Lilith was about to try and help Momo out with the negotiations, but she's like, but then Anari comes in and distracts her, so she's got to deal with that. So yeah,
she's like, "Mic off."
I like as well when she the connections drops, it's just Lilith's VA going like static.
Oh yeah, as later when like Ugalu is being all like grumpy, it's like gumo 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 gumo, and it's like otherwise such like a serious scene, but like you can just hear her little voice in the back going gumo gumo.
And Momo is just sort of like Momo has this really funny face, and her VA is just sort of going like just over and over again.
So yeah, like Momo's trying to think about how to like communicate with this demon who doesn't understand very complex language or whatever, but she also just keeps coming back to like different ways that she could fight her physically. She's like, no, I'm not gonna fight her. And then eventually she's like, you leave us, have party. And Yuko's like, oh, you're rapping now.
Gala gets into what her purpose is, like what she's here for, and this is where it gets interesting, because up to this point, the demon has always been characterized as just this sort of like a demon who's sort of fucking Mikan's life up. But here Gala explains that no, she's here to protect Mikan, even if she has no form. This is what she's supposed to do. She stays here in Mikan and she protects her from things. And Momo's like, well, how do you know if Mikan needs protecting if you can't see outside? And Ugala's like, well, look, whenever her heart's sad, whenever she feels bad, I attack everything inside.
And she looks so proud of herself. She's like, I attack everything.
Yeah, I did a good job. Aren't I clever? And Momo points out, no, that you're actually causing trouble.
I can't believe that something that seemed like maybe intimidating and dangerous then just turned out to be like a little baby that was doing its best in this show. I can't believe such a thing would occur.
I know. This scene is genuinely really sad. Like, for Agala to find out that she's actually been causing a lot of trouble for Mikan this whole time, she's like genuinely heartbroken.
Yeah, her whole existence has been like she was summoned badly and it was all very confusing, but she's been doing her best, and then she finds out that she's only been hurting everything, and she's just like
and she's saying, okay, well, I'll leave. And her first moment is quite happy, but then she's like, wait a minute, what happens to you when you leave? And Ugala's like, well, I don't have a purpose or a body. I'm just gonna, I disappear.
Yeah, it becomes that shrug, guess I'll just die meme.
Because and one of the things she says, like, when Momo says, like, thank you for understanding, Ugala's like, oh, thank you, I like being praised.
Oh yeah.
And then when she's saying she'll vanish, she's saying, well, I don't have a heart or a soul, so I'm just a puppet, like a computer program.
No, look.
I swear I didn't try to make a Penny reference there. I swear I didn't.
I was thinking about a penny. It's like, oh, it's almost like having a soul isn't what makes you a person or something.
The way they describe her like when they were talking about setting her up as like, you know, a familiar just has a basic set of instructions. Like they talk about her like she is a computer program.
Yeah.
And Nogala seems to think of herself the same way. So yeah, it's not the parallels there.
But she's become, you know, she's grown in an unexpected way and she's become a fully fledged person.
Yeah.
And
Imagine that.
they can tell just by interacting with her and they're like, look, you're clearly a valid person and we are going to treat you like one.
Yeah.
Isn't that
That said, in a reverse of Ruby, this time getting her a flesh body actually is a positive thing.
That's true, because otherwise she is going to disappear. But you know what? It's not a human flesh body. It's still made of clay. It just looks exactly like it's made of human flesh. Because Momo's just that good.
I will say, because Yuko's the one who pops up and says, no, clearly you do have a heart and a soul because you like being praised. Like if you were just a machine, that wouldn't make you happy.
Yeah. You're just a little gal.
When Yuko pops up, she's got a cane because she's like weak at the moment. She turned her staff into a cane.
Yeah, I like it.
And she's like, you know, she's like shaking and she can't really stand up properly. And she says something about being the boss of this town. And the girl is like, she's the boss, but her tail sucks.
Her tail's so skinny. How can she be the boss? Because of course Ugala has a big puffy like Tanuki looking tail thing.
Yeah. But Ugala is still saying, look, it's probably best that I go because Mikan probably hates me. When you see her, thank her because this was a nice place to hang out and stuff. And Ugala lived a long time, you know. But
Mikan says, no! Yo, I'm here, bitches. I'm awake. How's it going? You're my baby now. You're my daughter. Hello, hi.
Yeah, Lilith got Anari to sort of pick Mikan's head up and kind of rock it slowly to get it into like a half awake state.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, they do sort of... Lilith mentions that Momo had been through this before, which is true. When Yuko jumped into her dream at the end of last season, it was just a similar sort of thing.
Yeah, but it seems like you would just wake Mikan up and then everybody would wake up and you'd be kind of fucked. Because it's like what she's doing is making her kind of, what do you call it? Lemon dreaming? No, lucid dreaming. She's making her able to lucid dream.
Yeah. Lemon dreaming makes more sense for Mikan, though.
Yeah.
She's not letting her kind of live because she's saying, look, and the guy's like, well, aren't you angry with me? And Mikan's like, well, yes, kinda, but also I'm not letting you take the easy way out. Like,
also, you're just a fucking baby.
Yeah. They set up a plan to sort of summon her properly.
Wait, but who could tell them how to do so?
Obviously, yeah, we're going to need Ogura. We're going to need everyone because it's a big finale. Everyone's here.
Yeah.
Real quick. Now, this is something I wanted to get into. When they're back out of the dream and they're talking in the real world, Mikan makes a point about how she always thought of the demon as just this mischievous thing that was fucking with her. But now that she knows that it isn't malicious, she wants to save it. Like now that she knows it was just trying its best. Now, I don't know anything about the author's life.
Oh, this is emotion time.
I don't even know if this was like a deliberate analogy, but like, like I'd already read this arc in the manga, and I always felt like, okay, this is like this is a cute little idea of this, that you turn around and you find this thing is actually not trying to, it was trying to help you, it wasn't trying to harm you.
Yeah.
This time though, something my therapist, to get a bit real for a second, something my therapist has been working with me on lately is like this idea of like recognizing maladaptive behaviors that you have or thought patterns that, sort of hold you back, right? Like in my case, it's this like deep-seated thing about how like, no one wants me around and I'm no good at shit. Part of what my therapist has been getting me to work on lately, which has helped a lot, is it's not just about understanding how those thought patterns work and that they exist. It's also about understanding that at some point in your life, those things developed because they were a protective measure. It was an attempted defensive measure, right?
Yeah.
Like it was a thing that was trying to keep you from doing things that caused you pain. And it helps to understand that because it helps you to feel some softness for those parts of you that previously, like, you really detest.
Yeah, I see. I'm seeing it.
And this is the thing. This is like Mikan. So Mikan had this thing inside her that was really deeply set, that was like causing trouble for her and harming other people around her and stuff. And she always hated it. She thought it was this shitty thing. But now that she understands it better, she has this softness for it. She understands it was just trying to help. And it's like, this hit me pretty hard. I've got to say.
Aww. And the way they treat it when they introduce it to the students and stuff even makes it like a medical condition or something, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know that like this was a deliberate attempt at an analogy for that sort of thing, but man, it lines up. Like it really lines up as like dealing with the maladaptive behavior. But I mean, of course, it's not like I can summon a demon outside of me and have a weird anime dog girl hang out. But
maybe you just haven't tried hard enough.
Anyway, so yeah, obviously, they need help. They need to figure out how to summon a demon. Ogra.
Yeah, so they just call to her and she comes from the ceiling.
Yeah, sloops out the ceiling and she has a rope ladder this time. Oh, like is that Yuko just calls out to Ogra and she pops out. Her and Momo are fine with it, and Henri and Mikan are just really freaked out that she just popped out of the roof like that.
Yeah, especially Henri. Like she's being introduced to a lot of concepts right now.
Yeah, like the fact it's like she was just sitting there in the dark room, rocking Mikan's head, going, "I want to go to sleep," and then Yuko pops up and says, "Hey, you got to help us summon a demon." And she's like, "Okay, no, stop." I need some
okay,
details.
what? Yeah, and then Ogura just comes over the ceiling. She's like, "Roga!"
And now, here's something interesting. Ogura knows roughly what to do because Chiyoda Sakura already had a plan for this. Like she was already working on making this happen for Mikan.
How could we know?
Summoning the demon properly to get it out of her. But the thing she couldn't work out was how to get the demon to solidify into a form that could be summoned.
Only Shamiko.
Yeah. That was the thing. That was the thing she was missing, was what Shamiko could do.
Yeah.
When they asked Ugalo for details as to why the last summoning was crap, one of the things that she really focuses on, like, well, the circle wasn't very well drawn. I couldn't understand the instructions. Also, but the main thing was the fried chicken that they offered me sucked. It was all soggy and lemony. Mikan's like, oh, shit, sorry.
But lemon. And so, how convenient. They need better meats. It's very crucial. But who could have the good meats?
This is great. There's a whole sequence of Ogata saying, we're missing a lot of things. And everything she mentions, Yuko just either happens to know someone who can do this or has access to this. Or first of all, they're saying, okay, well, we need someone who can cook like a magical a feast imbued with a lot of magical power. We don't know anyone in town who can do that. And Yuko's like, I know someone at work, and they say, okay, well then we also need the tail feathers of a demon animal. She's like, my boss is a demon animal.
Tail hairs.
And I was like, okay, well we need good meat, and we get all the butchers are shut, and she's like, Henri's over there, and he's like, okay, yeah, we also need soil from a ley line. And
I like how they brought that back.
Yuko's like, I've got some dirt in the jar, and Ogura is just so pumped to know Yuko. Like she's just like, you are fucking fascinating. Hello.
Haha, I'm so glad I stalk you.
Yeah.
So yeah, the plan is on. Everybody got to get their shit together. Let's go.
There's one slightly disturbing scene here.
I don't like it.
I really didn't like it.
I don't like it.
At first, it's the scene of Liko cooking the food, and it's actually quite cute. Her sort of going, I'm really happy to help out here. This is a nice thing you guys are doing.
I really like the little magical shot of her with the glowing karaage, the glowing fried chicken, and it's like just very like fancy magic rendered. It's cute.
Yeah. But then they need to get the tail fur from the boss, and man, what was the scene?
Uncomfortable. Too long and too uncomfortable for me.
The bit that made okay, I can buy Liko acting like this, I guess, because the boss is tied up in like rope bondage, and he's blindfolded, which is completely unnecessary.
Sorry to describe it.
And he's just saying, why was this necessary? Like, I could pluck my own tail fur. And Liko's like, yeah, but your back's bad. Like, it's obviously better for me to do it. But then he says, okay, but why am I tied up? And Liko says, I love you so much. I want to see all the different expressions you could make, like, while she's holding these tweezers.
Spit much. And then when they show his teeth, and I'm like, The
bit that really makes it too much for me is that then Yuko is apparently into it. And I'm like, why did you add that?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Don't do this. Because, Liko says the thing about, I want to see all the different expressions you'll make. And the boss says, we need to talk about this attitude of yours. And then Yuko pops from the side and says, I kind of get where you're coming from, Liko.
What?
I'm like, don't do that.
Yuko.
Yeah.
Yuko, you are a demon. Shit.
That was a strange scene.
Weird.
Just as weird.
Wiping that scene from my memory. Yuko, come clean that out of my subconscious.
I get that it's a gag. Like I understand that we're just gagging around here, but it's so totally weird.
It's too full on. It's too full.
Yeah, with the way his teeth are done and all that sort of stuff, it's like,
Look at teeth.
yeah.
Literally gagging around system.
Anyway, we cut back from that back to a cute thing, which is they had to draw the magic circle. They need someone to help, and then when they go back to their place,
Yay.
the firsties are there who were doing the banner, and Momo's like guiding them, and Mikan's saying like, I just texted a few people and they all ran to come help me, and she's sort of crying.
They're all good kids.
Yeah, and then we cuts to Ogra, who's like getting the clay ready, and she's got Rio helping.
And Rio's just like, Onesa, who is this?
This is an upcoming thing in the manga, but Rio and Ogra start hanging out more. It becomes sort of a thing.
Well, I guess they're like the support squad.
Kind of, yeah, but it's sort of because like once Rio sort of knows who Ogra is, even though she just thinks she's very strange, she realizes Ogra also knows a lot of stuff. So, so they sort of become like the research team, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's cute, yeah. It's kind of cute. It does mean that sometimes they get shipped, and I don't like that. But,
Meh.
Fans do stupid things. Yeah, they summon Ugalu, and it works, and it's just nice. This is such a nice little ending.
Hey, but I'm mad. So Momo's like, but what do I do about the feet? She didn't have feet in the dream thing. And Lilith's like, I know what to do. And then it's just human feet and they're brown. And they have like some pink on the bottom. And I'm like, why can't she have the big puffy bottom feet? Why can't she have the big puffy bottom feet? Momo, this is a fucking racist clay doll you made, Momo.
Aww.
You're trying to undemon her, No, she cute.
It's true, as Saf says in the chat, you can't have a flesh body without human feet. It's how you know.
I know, like when someone was like, but does she have human feet? I was like, well, she doesn't at first. Oh, God! But she wake up and she's just a little clay person awake now that they made.
Yeah, and she's like, what's my job? What's my task? And Mikan's like, well, look, you are your own person at this point, so your task is to go find out what you want to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously, Ugala's a bit confused at the concept of this. And she goes to just leave because she's like, I'm sure Mikan still really doesn't like me, so I'm going to go far away. And Mikan's like, stop doing that. You're my family. You're not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, like earlier they joked about her being like Ugalu's mom now, and they're like, Mika mama. And she's like, don't call me that.
Yeah.
But she has a child now.
Yeah.
Hello, this is your daughter.
Here's a job. So there's a little bit of stuff in the credits of like Ugalu identifying Yuko as the boss, and Yuko saying like, I was just being stupid in the dream, and Ugala's like, no. Everything that happened to me getting a form and everything, none of that would have happened without you. Like, you were the instigator of all of it, so you're the boss.
Hell yeah. She's like, hey, no, this was a very good finale because it speaks to you as a character, Yuko. Come on. And I do like that she has a little ponytail that Mikan made for her, and the ponytail like looks like an animal tail and it's pretty cute.
Yeah.
And she's just like a little sassy demon kid.
She's just hanging out on like the balcony, just like a delinquent kid. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, and then later, like she's hanging out there at the front, and the mom sees her and is like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Protecting." Or like, it's cute.
It is.
Shababa.
There's just a tiny little bit of Momo and Yuko, with Yuko saying, sort of reflecting on what had happened, and sort of saying, "Man, reflecting on things, I'm slightly disturbed by how off the cuff all of that was. Like we really were flying by the seat of our pants." And what does Momo say?
Almost as well all works out because it's just you. And then I think if I recall, they kiss each other, and oh no wait, she says it reminds her of her sister.
Yeah.
Because that's how her sister did things, and her sister was very powerful.
Yeah. It's just a sort of went off the cuff too, which is definitely the impression you get from the little bits we saw of Chihiro Sakura.
Yeah, she was up to a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And that's the end of the season.
Yeah, so it's not quite as like finale as the end of the first season, but still it's just nice, you know. There's still nice things happening. I like these kids. It brings me joy.
Yeah.
Season 3 fucking win.
Lincoln in the chat, when I was talking about the mental health thing earlier, Lincoln pointed out that like even if that an analogy there wasn't explicit, this is still a show that does it focuses on looking after yourself and looking after other people and kind of like recovering from trauma and all that sort of stuff in general. Like that's something that the show deals with a lot.
Yeah.
It's just, it's nice the way that this show handles that stuff. Like it's just, as much as it is like a silly gaggy comedy show, it's got this level to it where it is just like all these kids trying to work through their shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like I forget what the genre term is, like a healing anime and a yashike or something, where it's just like, it's supposed to be people with like a lot of different kinds of trauma, but they're all having a good time and healing and supporting each other.
Yeah.
And it is sweet.
It's just nice.
It's sweet.
And yeah, like we said, this isn't, like we talked about back in like the 5 and 6 pod, at the end of what was the volume 3 of the manga. There's stuff that she apparently said in the interview about how she'd initially planned to end the series there. When we get into volume 5 as well, which would be the first half of the next season, I think you can see that. You can see that there's just lots of little episodic things until we get to what Momo's doing, and that whole thing for a bit.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason I think this ending doesn't feel quite as strong. But, that's fine. Like, that's like part of the process of making a fucking, monthly comic is you kind of had to work on her feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's definitely not like, like there's things like, what was it? The Reborn is a Villainous or whatever. That like by the end I was like, well, I don't even like this anymore. You ruined it for me. Whereas the worst this gets is just like, well, it's not really that, like big of a finale thing, but it's just nice. It's just nice and I'm just having a good time.
Yeah. And it's still like, there's still like new bits of character development that we're doing. Like, like having this little focus on Mikan here was really nice. Like there's other bits of like little character development we're going to do with some of the other characters too. Yeah, it's good. It's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice show. Very good show. I'm really happy more people are finding it, to be honest. Because it really did seem like the first season really flew under the radar when it was like that was a good season of anime.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that, like we get a lot of views and stuff on these ones, and it's just nice to be able to like share how much we like a show with people.
Yeah, makes us very happy.
Yeah. But hey, the next season's starting up.
Yeah.
I still need to finish some of the shows from the last season.
No, same.
But it's coming on. It's upon us.
It is. Seth just posted in the chat the Terry Pratchett book Feet of Clay. Yeah, we get it.
She's whole bot of clay.
Like we said, we have got some other stuff coming up. Like I'll get to the Rayoth one. Q will probably finish watching Flip Flappers. We're gonna get back to Sailor Moon. We're gonna just talk about good things.
I have another thing I do also want to do.
Oh yeah.
You said you just want to talk about good things. Sorry, I want to do a slushy about Dragon Guard 3. I want to tell you about Dragon Guard 3, Phoenix. There's so much that happens. I did a playthrough as Melanie, and it was some crazy ass shit, and I want to tell you about it.
It's funny because like before pre-Melanie and now, you've been playing Yoko Taro games. And they've all just been sort of, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, he's a thought criminal. Kind of interesting.
Interesting dude, but the way people talk about him being an auteur, and then you play the games, you look at the story, and you're kind of like,
I don't understand how that became the impression people had from Automata, that he's just like, oh my god, he's the most amazing, brilliant writer that's ever written. And then you get to this one, it's just like, haha, my dick. I'm a dick.
I think it says something really sad about the state of most like video game stories.
Yeah.
They see things like this and go, wow. It's like the same way that everyone was like praising Spec Ops The Line as being this really deep like version of a war story. And then like when you find out that like spoilers for Spec Ops The Line, it ends up, it was all a dream and the guy was crazy the whole time. It's like, wow.
Really?
Wow, writing. Wow, cool writing.
That's amazing.
It's so stupid.
Nier Automata is a great game. I just think it's very much like a whole package thing. Like if it was just like based on only Yoko power, I don't think it would be that amazing of a game. but like it had like the amazing composers and the animators and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he's an interesting guy with interesting ideas. His stuff is just a weird nightmare mess. And I think Dragon Guard might actually be my favorite just like overall story of his, but you shouldn't play it.
No, probably not.
You should listen to me tell you about it on this podcast in the future. I said it on a podcast and now it's gonna happen and Fiend can't stop me.
Because that's definitely a thing with us. We say we're going to do a podcast about a particular anime, and we definitely always do that.
Look, eventually, until we're both dead, you can't say we didn't. It's like how when we say that Ruby doesn't do something, and then the big fans would be like, you can't say that it didn't. It might. It says anytime it's an ongoing story. Our lives are an ongoing story, Fiend.
Yeah, that's true.
Think about that?
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Snap, 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 snap.
Okay. So yeah, that's the end of DG&D Season 2, and we will talk to you guys later. But in the meantime...
Well, I guess you'll just have to have a nice anime.
Bye.